Dallin Hall has committed to Virginia. The former BYU Cougar will take his talents to the ACC next season. He played 3 years at BYU where he never did crack double digits scoring, but it certainly felt like he did at times, especially his sophomore year, where he was one of the more primary options for Mark Pope's last team at BYU. He averaged 9 points and 5 assists per game that year, shot 36% from three, played 29 minutes a game, started 30 games. This year under Kevin Young, you could see things were moving in a little bit of a different direction. He was coming back from injury. Dallin Hall averaged 7 points a game, 4 assists a game. Numbers were down across the board a little bit. Only played 24 minutes, only started 10 games. And you and I talked about it a lot. With Yegor Devitt in the fold, with Richie Saunders' explosion into being a superstar, felt like they ran a lot of late game stuff through Dallin Hall that just didn't work. And that's not a discredit to him or anything, but it kind of drove me crazy as someone who was pulling for BYU a lot that like they were having him play the role of closer. And it rarely worked out well when they had Richie Saunders, who was like the best closer in the country when needed. So I think this makes sense for all parties, even if it is maybe something we don't love about the portal era, where like a guy who gave you blood, sweat, and tears for 3 years, stayed through a coaching change, is now going to finish his career in a different uniform. But I think the reality is BYU's looking to bring in better players at the guard spots, and Dallin Hall is looking for an opportunity to get back to his offensive focal point role that he once played under Mark Pope. Do you agree with that as he moves to Virginia?
Yeah, I do. I also agree that I think that BYU was very successful when Dallin Hall was like the point guard, right? Like he played 29 minutes on that Mark Pope team. And that was his best year in college. Now, I do think that there was a move away from that. He was a guy who averaged 5 assists in his sophomore season. I think he's got good size at six as a 6'4" point guard. I also think there's some limitations to him being like the 6'4" point guard. I think that he lacks a little bit of a handle at times, and I do think that I don't necessarily want the ball in his hands late making a play. But I think this is a really good pickup. I think it's also a really good move for Dallin Hall, just in general, like for both parties. There's not a lot of both parties this makes sense move sometimes in the portal. This one is one that clearly makes sense to me. Like I think
Yeah.
they were moving away from him, and it was time for him to find another opportunity. And now he finds a school where he will have the opportunity, I think, to be the starting point guard, ball in his hands type of guy.
Yeah, I think so too. Is that going to work for Virginia?
No.
What do you think that looks like?
Yeah, we'll take this walk with me. Well, I like Dallin Hall more so as a secondary ball handler, not my point guard guy, if that makes sense.
We interrupt this sleepers video to talk directly to you, our loyal listener. Have you ever found yourself watching us two idiots thinking, hey, I wish there was a very easy, small way for me to show a token of my appreciation for all of their hard work on all these videos I love to watch? Well, now we have just the way to do that.
Thanks to the beautiful folks over at Underdog Fantasy. They are helping us out this month, presenting a lot of the content coming out this month, giving you a chance with a amazing offer that you can use using our promo code that Gregory will tell you more about.
Yeah, so college hoop season's over, but we got like big time golf tournaments. The NBA playoffs are coming. Baseball season's underway. There's still a bunch of sports on. There's still a bunch of ways to play with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SLEEPERS. As a new customer, you can get up to 1,000 bonus credits plus a free pick. It's one of the most fun ways to play. It's a great way to support us. And on some actual like non-ad read stuff, talking genuinely here, really helps us because if Underdog loves us, if we get a lot of people to sign up, they're going to help us continue to bring you the content that you love. Show your support. Join Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a free pick. Yeah, I think maybe the thing I question most with him is like, he's kind of got to be and is supposed to be in his build as a dead eye shooter, and he's never been that. I mean, he's a career 35% three-point shooter. He's a career 64% free throw shooter. He's never cracked 70% from the free throw line. Like, he's never had a season where he shoots better than 36% from three.
He also doesn't get to the free throw line.
Right. So, like, honestly, the sell on him is like he is a high assist guy that takes care of the basketball. but I feel like he's billed as this like big time floor spacing volume 3 point maker that can also handle and pass. He's not the shooter like that. He's basically got to run your offense and chip in with threes here and there. I think every time he puts the ball on the floor, it goes poorly. To be honest, like he's a good passer, smart player. Anytime he tries to create off the dribble in the Big 12, I mean, he got ate up last season. So honestly, I do think it's crazy because it's like high major to high major. But let's be real, Car. Transfer from the Big 12 to the ACC is a down transfer. Like he's gonna have a little easier time, I think, just playing the teams on Virginia's schedule next year. So it could work, but yeah, if my team was bringing down Hall to like be the star at point guard, I wouldn't feel great about my team's chances.
Yeah, I just think that, and look, obviously he's not like the worst shooter in the world, but he is kind of billed as this knockdown shooter, and he's just not. Now maybe he finds that in the ACC, or maybe at worst he is a guy that you can just use as like a secondary creator. But I think Dallin Hall wants to be a point guard. I just don't want my point guard to be Dallin Hall if I'm a coach.
Yeah, or a fan, respectfully. That's that. Maybe this is us just drawing a line in the sand saying we don't love his game, but I think that showed true on all of our BYU previews and recaps. It sounds like BYU fans are going to remember him really fondly. So any Virginia fans that are watching this, don't take our skepticism and negativity as like a doomsday here. Um, by all accounts, he's a beloved player who gave his heart and soul to BYU, and I think that is what he will do at Virginia. So we'll see. Just may not be a quick turnaround for the Virginia program that is still trying to rebuild after Tony Bennett. But best luck, best wishes to Dallin Hall in his next endeavor. We will have more coverage of all things transfer portal on the Sleepers channel.